Hello, we are Hawksman Real Estate. I am James Mason.
And I'm Sarah Colenso.
And we are here to talk to you about the local property market. With many of you asking us questions about what's happening right now, we thought it would be a good idea, time to time, for us to sit down and have a chat about what we believe is going on in the local market. Right, well, here we are in October, Sarah.
I know.
I'm going to have a chat about what's coming up and
what we had to deal with.
Should we cover off September?
I think we need to.
Quite a bit went on, didn't
Yes, whether it was property related or not, we had some big events, didn't we?
Not exactly everything went as I thought it might.
Okay.
However, some behaviours were exactly as we thought they were going to be, but we had some external challenges this month.
There were some, and I think we need to toast someone, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I think we do. What have we got?
We're going to do Gin of the Month in honour of our lovely Queen.
HRH.
And this is the gin that you bought me for, I think it was meant to be for my birthday and ended up being for Christmas because you had to order it and it took a while to come through.
It was delayed to come through, but it was after I went to the palace.
You'd gone to the palace.
Uninvited. It was uninvited. It was a tour. I paid.
I was going to say, you weren't arrested though, were you?
It wasn't a garden party and I wasn't, climbing the fence.
And this is not a party bag.
But no, saw that and ordered it for you. So, and now we've just decided it's the right time to break it out.
It's the right time to toast our Queen, rest in peace and long live the King.
Well, there you go. Yes, absolutely. Oh, it's an eye closer, that one. You made that a strong one, didn't you?
I did. There's no other way to have it.
I think we probably need it after the last week that we've had, because there's been some challenges, haven't there?
Absolutely. Yeah, the world has changed, I would say, 3 times so far.
Well, yes. But as we discussed, was it yesterday, we just need to take a breath.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you believe everything you read and hear and what other people are telling you, you would think that the world is going to hell in a handcart.
Look, viewer, I'll address you straight away. We're not going to gloss over everything that is happening, but at the same time, I do think we need to find some balance in all of this as well. We're just talking about the Queen's funeral. I have to say, I thought the BBC handled it beautifully.
Oh, it was lovely.
There was a moment at the end, Kirsty Young.
My goodness.
Some people said it was the horse, the Queen's pony.
Emma the pony. I know, and then the corgis.
But for me, it was Kirsty Young.
Kirsty Young, who
at the
could
end.
barely get through it. I know.
Yeah. But then I do have to pick them up on their coverage of the mortgage rates on Monday and some of the language that they used.
Yes.
Because I sat there watching the news in almost open-jawed disbelief at the... and I know, look, we've got 24-hour news channels now that we have to fill. It's a bit like Ron Burgundy and Anchorman, isn't it? We're just going to talk about anything over and over again. But the language that they were using, we would think that nobody in the world could ever get a mortgage anymore, and that anyone who was getting a mortgage currently was having the rug pulled out from underneath.
That's what I was going to say. You were very concerned about the language they were using because it sounded like they were revoking offers.
Lenders withdrawing mortgage offers.
Yeah. No, they're not.
No, they were taking some products off the shelf while they repriced them, and then they'll come back a bit more expensive, right? So
they have not helped.
So it hasn't helped at all, and there's an awful lot of confusion out there. But just to offer some balance, yes, things are a little bit more challenging, and you probably have to jump through a few more hoops now. But there are still decent rates on the market. You can still get mortgages, no problem at all. The big issue is, obviously, if you're on a fixed rate now, and you're going to be coming off that in the future, it will be at a different price.
Absolutely. But I think the key word here is sensible. We just need to be sensible and take an objective view of what's going on. And the world will continue. People will continue to want to live in our area.
I would hope, Sarah, that the type of clients that are in our area would realise that when interest rates are 0.5%, they're probably only going to go one way eventually, which is up. And mortgage advisors should be advising people that, isn't the thing, rates can go up. What was the big line that was always on the adverts? Rates can go up as well as down.
Yes.
So look, there are going to be people that will have challenges, and we'll come on to that as well, because I think we've already seen that there will be some really positive opportunities coming out of this. And we've already had conversations with people who are now planning for the next 18 months.
Absolutely.
And they may not have been thinking of selling their house immediately, but now it might just be a little bit more at the forefront of their mind. So
I think it's going to be really interesting the next few months.
Well, what's the good news? The good news is that I think there are going to be a bit more properties coming onto the market. I think there'll be a few more.
For different reasons.
I don't think we're going to see a wave of properties coming onto. I would love to. I would absolutely love that if we were taking on 20 houses a month, but I just don't think that's going to happen. There are still buyers wanting to buy. So I think that the interesting thing for me is that my hope and my expectation is, well, okay, hold on. Let's talk about what Hawksman's going to do. What we're going to do is going to use the word sensible an awful lot. We talked about this yesterday, didn't we? We're going to use the word sensible an awful lot, in that we are going to be dealing with sensible sellers, sensible buyers, at sensible prices. And I think the market will continue as long as there are private schools and good schools in the area that people want to move to.
Absolutely.
There will always be demand. And unless there is some huge shift where there are 100 houses for sale in every single price range, we're not going to see we're not going to see the market turn anywhere near as much as people are worried about.
Absolutely.
And activity levels are still high.
Absolutely. And I think as well that, you know, we are very lucky where we are, that we are in a golden bubble. We are 40 minutes from London. People are always going to want to be moving into and out of our area. So I hope that we're going to be able to maintain levels of activity, even if it's not such good news for other parts of the country. And I do wish them well. I'm just saying that for us, I hope that we will still see a bit of life in the market, and it's going to continue.
I think even more so now post-COVID. There isn't that need to be in southwest or central London. So
every day.
So we're still looking at people in their offices 3 days a week. I know there are employers who want them back more than that. But the ability to be in this area is still great. So the good news, if you're selling, is there will still be buyers. The good news, if you're buying, there will still be sellers.
Isn't it interesting? And I don't know if you've noticed this, but just something you said then, people aren't having to go into London for work every day now. And so when we've been doing viewings in the past and we'll say, oh, it's got a study, people go, oh, good, you know, I think, oh, that'll be useful. And now what do we say? 2 potential workspaces, and people go, oh, great, because, you know, both of us need to work from home at some point or another. And so actually to have properties where you can create 2 separate workspaces for people to be there, you know, more than part-time sometimes.
And add to that as well, how many people have said, oh, I really like an office garden. An office
garden?
A garden office. Because it's away from the house and mental health. Absolutely. Or you've just got the loudest kids in the world and you need to be at the bottom of the garden. And then also, I have to say, what I've been really interested in is the workspace for the kids as well. So there's been a variety of requests from parents based on their kids' experience during, and also I suppose what the schools have done during lockdown. And although, you know, touch wood, we're never ever going back into that. But I think it's made everyone look at things a bit more and say, well, actually, I don't want them to be doing their homework and working in their bedrooms.
Absolutely.
I would like a separate space for them to do that outside of their bedrooms. Again,
for mental health, just so you are having a change of scenery, you're not in your own little world. And absolutely.
So that's,
a lot of people picked up on that, didn't they?
So that's always still important. And I think, you know, from the London buyers coming out, it's essential that we've got that, because if they are going to be working from home, then absolutely home working is hugely important. So that's great. If you've got multi workspaces, that's brilliant. But there's loads of other things. And actually, we are being asked a little bit more now, aren't we, to give a few tips.
Absolutely.
For people looking to sell their home. What's your number one, Sarah?
Declutter, declutter, declutter. That is the best tip I could give anybody. And to actually look at your house with a fresh pair of eyes. If you walk in the door and imagine seeing it for the first time, what doesn't need to be there, basically? And
the husband.
I say nothing. That's always up to personal choice. Declutter. If you can't do it yourself, get a really good friend whose opinion you trust and who you will always forgive for giving you harsh truths.
It's easy for you to say.
Oh, no, it's really not. Get someone else around, or we can help.
Absolutely. If you really do need someone to say what she sees, then
that's so hard.
Get Sarah around, and she will give you the home truths. There we go. Which is actually a different show. Home Truths with Sarah Colenso.
Oh gosh, can you imagine where that would go? Especially after a gin. Blimey.
Oh my God,
we're not doing that.
No, absolutely. But I agree with you. There's so many things when we go into houses. People accumulate chairs.
What is it with the chairs?
Where do they come from?
I don't know. Actually,
do they breed in the night?
So my friend's father actually used to make chairs, and she said, you got enough, stop making them. No, just keep them. And the whole dining room was lined with chairs, all different as well, because he didn't want to make the same chair twice.
And around the dining table, but also around the wall.
All around the wall, absolutely.
That's a trend, isn't it?
What's going on with that?
Well, there is no need.
No.
But look, it's really funny, actually, because I remember being a very young estate agent and being trained that when I walk into a room, I should look at the ceiling, because that gives me a true representation of the size of the room. However, the normal man on the street would walk in and they look at the floor. So So chairs, yes, but floor space is really important. If you've got stuff on the floor that doesn't need to be there,
definitely
get rid of it.
Absolutely. And time and time again, I said to people to take anything, if you've got kitchen cupboards with stuff on top or a wardrobe with stuff on top, it looks like there's not enough room for it. So you need to get rid of it.
Even if it's convenient. Even if it's convenient to pull it down.
Yeah, you're telling a story. You are saying, look, imagine if you live here, there's everything you could possibly need in your home. So take away a potential problem or a negative that someone's going to walk away with. Take everything off your wardrobes, off the top of your cupboards, even if it has to go into the garage. And how many times we get people saying, oh, the garage is such a mess. And we say, we don't care. People just need proof of life. They just want to know that's where they can put their junk if they buy this house.
A full garage is actually not the end of the... I mean, it's lovely. It is lovely to go and see the beautifully manicured...
poured concrete floors and all of
poured
that.
concrete floors, screwdrivers mounted on the walls kind of thing.
That's the dream.
They are lovely.
But a junky garage is also very reassuring to most of the population. They go, I'm not the only one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we always joke as well. It's like, before the sailboard goes up, what's the other thing that should be out on the drive?
Skip. I love a skip on the driveway.
We're not looking for sponsorship, Weybridge Skip Hire, but if they wanted to, we've used them quite a lot actually, haven't we? But you joke, but a small skip on your driveway,
it's brilliant.
It focuses your mind quickly to fill it, and once you start chucking stuff in there,
it's really cathartic.
It's kind of addictive, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
But again, we've also said to buyers recently, if there's stuff in your house that you own and you don't want to get rid of, storage unit. Just go and get a quick storage unit.
Absolutely. £100 a month, go for it.
It's only for the length of the sale, so just pop it all in there and it's away. But it makes such a difference now that the world is expecting so many more visual aids when it comes to selling a house. When you think video, you think the amount of photos that are out there now. I think it makes a huge amount of sense to work on your house before you put it on the market.
And the other thing I would suggest people to consider, obviously, if you're selling your home, you don't want to be spending too much money on it.
No.
But there are very key points where someone might walk in, and again, it's the first impression of the house. So if you've got 3 kids and all your walls are scuffed in the areas that we like to call high traffic areas. If you've got scuff marks along the walls from all your children getting taller and taller and buggies and whatever else, liquor paint, just to get rid of that, again, it takes another problem away from someone walking in the door and going, oh, well, I'll need to redecorate. I'll take £1,000 off my offer. You might be able to do it yourself and it'll just be the cost of the paint and the brushes, or to get someone in to do it for you, but it will always be less for you to do it than for the amount that someone will take off an offer.
And on that point as well, front doors. Don't forget your front doors. Absolutely. How many times do they get battered, key marks, scuff marks, whatever?
And that's literally the first impression you're going to get of a house is, it's got a really knackered front door. So,
exactly. If it needs replacing, replace it. But if it could just be sanded down and repainted.
Tart it up,
absolutely. Varnish the step, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
A tatty old welcome mat that
I've had to diplomatically say store out of sight and a few of those. It's just like really manky with anyway.
Someone stole it in the middle of the night. How did that happen? A drive-by mat stealing, dearie me. But there you go. But I think that it's really important now, if we're going into these winter months as well, to have a look at getting your house in the best possible presentation you can do, because we haven't got the summer months where everything just looks amazing and everything's glorious and the light's coming through and it's all beautiful. I think we do have to make a bit more of an effort. There are going to be viewings now. Where are we? Beginning of October? The world goes a bit weird when it gets darker earlier. Everyone gets a bit grumpier, don't they?
But people also then want to get cosy. So what's our other tip?
Turn the heating up.
You have to. If you want to sell your house, I think we do.
Can we say that anymore?
Yeah, I think we have to.
Sell a kidney, turn your heating up.
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Get your house sold.
Yeah, absolutely. But that is a great little tip, is if you are doing viewings, just turn the heating up just by 1 degree, get the house feeling all lovely.
And then people walk in the door and go, oh, this is nice, don't they?
Yes, it is. So
how much would you like to buy it for?
Absolutely, that kind of thing. Yeah. And again, obviously we're going into a time of year where gardens are going to start changing as well. And remember, if we're selling predominantly to London buyers coming out from very, very small gardens. A lot of the time they're astroturfed or they're paved. They're coming out of that kind of thing. They do want to see a nice garden. So if people are doing their own gardening, spend a bit of time out there. If you're putting the house on the market, obviously, spend a bit of time out there. If you've got gardeners, just have a word with them. Bit of colour. You can't use the hose pipe still, but a bit of colour.
You don't need to anymore, but you can still make a winter garden look nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that if you're just doing everything in your power to present the house properly,
Make it look cared for.
Make it look cared for, make it look loved. That's all buyers are looking for.
Absolutely.
You're halfway there.
And there is one more tip, which isn't really related to property sales, although it does help keep unwanted guests out of your home.
Who?
No, but it could work. Yeah. And it's related to these little fellas here.
Conkers.
Conkers! Yes!
It's that time of year.
So...
What are these? What?
These are edible. These are not edible.
Right.
And when I moved into my house, because I moved from central London, like very many people do, and then we moved down the A3, ended up in Oxshott, and there were spiders everywhere in our house. And we had builders and decorators and everything in. And I went, I don't know what to do about the spiders. I don't like spiders, blah, blah. And the decorator said, get some conkers and put them in each corner of your room. And I actually said to him, I looked him in the eye, I said, are you taking the mickey? Are you making fun of someone who's moved from central London, doesn't understand the countryside?
You're the decorator? Was that Conker Colin?
No, I've forgotten his name. Oh, he was lovely.
We've heard about him.
Bob. No, he wasn't called Bob. Anyway.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm really not. Give it a go. And I thought, okay, I'll do it. But they'll probably be laughing at me. Got these conkers. One in each corner of your room. Yeah. I've now learnt what you need to do is when you get a candle and you've used the candle and you've got the glass jar, fill it with conkers and then it looks neater.
Oh, I see. I thought that added to the effect of it.
It doesn't.
You were like supercharging the conkers.
No, but it means you're not going to be hoovering them up and children aren't going to be eating them quite as obviously and that kind of thing. Because these are really poisonous, people. They're not. These are.
Yeah.
So put a conker in each corner of your room. You will not get spiders. And they only last a year. So when you start seeing spiders come back, it will be August time. Yeah. And that's when you know you need to get rid of all your conkers, which are now comfortably contained in little glass jars, throw them away and get some of the new batch to protect you for another year.
Okay. Really?
I promise you.
Okay, well then there we go. So we're going to see conkers in all of our listings now.
Absolutely. And I've got so many little glass jars.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be fine.
Okay, so all interior designers out there, conkers are in for the new season. Mm-hmm. That's the look.
It really is.
2 years ago it was pineapples, now it's conkers.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I do have a funny story. I do. So a very good friend.
Clean?
Yeah.
It's clean.
A really good friend of ours who is not from England. She's from further away in Europe. And we love her dearly.
Oh, okay.
And she was having trouble sleeping and had lots of spiders in her house. And so I gave her...
They were keeping her awake?
Huh?
They were...
Yeah, tip-tapping. And so I said, you need an amethyst stone to put under your pillow to help you sleep because it's really good for sleep. She went, oh, brilliant, thank you.
Okay.
And I said, you need conkers. And she said, I don't know what a conker is. And I said, I'll bring you a conker. And so I did. So the next time I saw her, I gave her a conker and she said, thank you. So I put this under my pillow, do I? And I said, no, you don't. This is for the spiders and the amethyst is what. But she was going to sleep trusting that a conker under her pillow
would get her off
was
to
going to
sleep.
protect her from spiders and get her to go to sleep.
It's like a modern day Princess and the Pea.
Yes.
Isn't it?
But with conkers.
But with a conker.
Mm-hmm, and no amethysts.
No. Well, okay. Well, I'm glad it works. And these are what? These are edible?
They are edible. I will warn you, there's marzipan on the outside.
I like marzipan.
Oh, okay. Because I don't.
I think it's dark chocolate, though.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh.
We can't talk for another 5 minutes now.
That'll do. So, in a world that's very unpredictable,
Yeah.
what are your predictions for the property market?
Oh, thanks. Look, we said it last month. I'll say it again this month. Don't overvalue your home. Already, we're hearing stories of agents ringing up all of these houses that are massively overpriced and saying, right, you need to bring it down. So the good news is there should be some more sensible stock available if some of those do. But here's what I think will happen. I think careful how I word this, the silly sellers, let's call them silly instead of stupid, right? But the silly sellers who went on the market with agents overvaluing their houses by 20-25% to win the listings, right? We know all the ones. We saw them. Yeah,
absolutely.
We talked about them.
We thought we got it wrong, didn't we?
Still on the market a year and a half later,
exactly.
Right? So all of those houses that went on the market for 20-25% because the market was flying away and the agent was promising them, they should drop away now. So we'll get rid of those. Also, I think the buyers who were sort of a bit wishy-washy tire kickers, however you want to call them, sitting on the fence, exploring areas, might look, might buy, might stain, might extend, I think they'll just disappear as well. And I think what will happen is it'll be a much cleaner market for some. So I think that if you are a sensible seller and you go to the market at a sensible price with an agent that knows what they're doing, you'll be absolutely fine. There will be buyers out there. You'll still get multiple interest in it. You'll still get multiple offers, and you'll be able to choose your buyer. Once again, the ability to offer end of chain is massive. We're going into October now. We are just about on the cusp of getting in for Christmas. I think once we talk about this next month, then it's not. It's exchanging before Christmas.
Which still gives people comfort, but it's not like, having your log fire and your Christmas
tree. It'll be moving in January, February,
absolutely.
So I think at this stage now, if we're in that second week of October and you're able to offer vacant possession or end of chain, I think it's massively, massively important. But, the days of the sort of 3 agents coming in and one of them massively overvaluing your house and the guy going, well, we'll give it a shot, I think are probably going to be over, which is kind of good for everyone because it saves us all a bit of time. So whatever we said earlier, sensible sellers at sensible prices to sensible buyers, I think will be okay.
Absolutely.
So if you are thinking of making a move and you'd like to get some advice on your situation, whatever that may be, get in touch and Sarah and I can come down and we can have a chat about you and your potential move.